Friends, one big issue with Indian football again is the pace in the midfield. When you watch an ISL match, an I League match, India playing in an international match, you find out that there's a big difference between the top 50 teams in the FIFA rankings and India when it comes to the pace of play in the midfield. Now, the point I want to establish here is that whether it's a long ball, whether it's a pass, whether it's along the ground, whether it's in the air, whatever it may be, the pace of play, the speed with which midfield play happens with India and in Indian football, top flight or below, is not quite up to scratch, not quite up to standard. This needs improvement quickly. Agreed that the conditions in India are much hotter, are much more demanding than the conditions in Europe. But let's not compete with Europe straight away. Let's talk about Asia. Asian conditions all around are not that easy. Europe is much more favorable than that. But when you look at the Western countries in Asia, they're doing pretty well. The point is not only to do with the conditions here, the point is to do with the conditioning. If the conditions are harsh, is the fitness level up to scratch to make sure that the body is conditioned to those harsh climatic regions? This is a thing to take into consideration. India must not falter in this regard. We've heard it many times from different people, and over here I'm taking the footballers aside. The footballers have their say and they say it right from the spot. So just take them aside. There are administrators, there are coaches, there are different people associated with Indian football who keep harping on the point, look, it's much harder playing football in India than in Europe. They say it once, they say it twice, they say it thrice, and at one point of time it becomes an excuse. When you begin, it feels okay. It's got some reason, it's got some value, you can put some thought behind it. But every single time, every single season, if the same old thing props up, it no more remains a reason, it becomes an excuse. If you say that it's really hard to keep pace of play up to scratch, up to standard with what's going on in Europe, why don't you improve the conditioning? Why don't you improve the fitness? No, we're not asking humans to become machines. If European players can be so fit, why can't Indians be even half as fit in harsher conditions? If players in the Gulf region can be so good when it comes to fitness, why not India? I mean, we deserve much better. We deserve to be a more skillful team and not worry too much about the conditions, because we have to be acclimatized to facts and figures of the warm weather over here. Why has that not happened yet? Why is this an issue which is burning over and over again but not being taken care of? Why? Whenever we are talking about scoring goals, we somewhat take into consideration, or it's assumed, that the midfield has taken care of itself. Whether it's the wings or the central portion of the midfield, they have taken care of themselves and the ball has been passed on to the forward line. That's what we think. But if the pace of play in the midfield is slow, the opposition team will automatically snatch the ball away and take it into our half and score goals. That's what repeatedly happens with us in international matches. So if these things don't improve, if we are not that concerned about increasing the speed of play in the midfield, right from the grassroots level, how will things improve? And it's not that we can't do it. It's just that these things are not getting coached to the players from a junior level. It's just ironical that we keep talking about it and nothing happens. There is so much talk being put into different programs, different training methods, different styles of play, different European angles of play, different this, different that. But no one talks about these simple yet really important things which are very much part of the play when you have the action going on in the 90 minutes. You watch any Bundesliga game, you watch any EPL match, you watch any League One match, any La Liga match, any match from Europe, you cannot say that the midfield pace is slow. You cannot say that. If you say that, it has to be a horrible game. But that hardly happens. But when you watch play happen in the ISL, even in the 13th minute, under artificial lights, the pace of play is so slow. Why? Can't our players do it? Yes, they can. Yes, they can. Can't the coaches implement it? Yes, they can. But has the foundation been laid for it? No. No one has even given it a thought to lay the foundation for faster midfield play. No one. Those who have talked about it have been sidelined, have been done away with. What's going on? India deserves better. India demands better. Our players are much better than what they're made to look like. The training facilities are not good enough. The programs implemented are not good enough. These need changing. Why? Because as they say, if the midfield is not controlled, football matches are not won. Whoever wins in the midfield wins the match. That's what they say. And they say it for a reason. And we, at our level, for so many years, are just not laying stress on these things. Sometimes the players keep harping on this. They keep talking about it. They keep putting it up in front of the camera when questions are asked, but no one cares. The average Indian football fan who loves the Indian team, who loves the improvement of Indian football, is unsure of what's going on in this department simply because no one, just nobody in the administration, nobody in the ones who run the show want to implement it. But why? Why is this the story? Why is this the case? Don't we want to be good in the midfield? We ask the simple question, friends. Don't we want to be good in the midfield?